holding to a powerful key I wasn't even aware of, that even though I was far from being resilient at that point, it's going to open the door for me to a roadmap that's going to show me how to bounce back from these tough moments that are going to come again and again throughout this journey that lasted more than a year, took me over 3 continents. And I'm here today to share with you both that key and the roadmap that it led me to. And I believe that if it helped me to go through all of these challenges I was about to face, I firmly believe it has some power to help you and give you something valuable too. But first, let's face it. You don't need to leave everything behind to feel like that, right? We've all been there, facing those challenges. From the smallest thing, like standing stuck in traffic on the way to an important meeting, that's where it gets me. But also the bigger ones, like starting the day off arguing with the person you love the most, or maybe not achieving the goal, or having a bad meeting that you were actually looking for. What is this in those moments that hit us so hard, that catch us off guard? It's not only having those expectations left unmet, it's something deeper. It turns out it touched one of our most basic needs. Maslow's pyramid teaches us that our very basic need as human beings is safety. And when our plans are being smashed in our face, from sitting stuck in traffic to those bigger challenges we have in life, like trying to raise a village, we feel that that ground of safetiness is being shaken, and we feel unsafe. Avocado is going to come somewhere along the story or in the end, so we will wait with that. But how then we tackle that safety? Maybe if we take a closer look in those specific times when things don't go our way, maybe we understand those, what I call reality players, then we can get a grab of how to play better and maybe even win. Is it going to threaten our business goals? Maybe our job? And you see, actually what happens there, you started something, but is it only stayed in that bubble of being stuck in traffic, or when you are now finally arriving to this meeting, hop, do you arrive in a best thinking cap, best positive self of yours, or are you still dragging down those thoughts and emotions from that moment in the traffic? Could it be that that meeting will not go as well, even if you wouldn't say a word? People around you know that something is off. And then, could it be that you would have maybe a discussion with your boss who's going to be disappointed at you and you would feel even worse, and maybe you would even go home and take it on the people you love the most, who had nothing to do with you and your lousy day and standing back then in the traffic? And could it be that you maybe even drag it for more days or weeks? How clear can you think when you are in that spiral? How positive and energy lifted can you be, and maybe even your health will take the toll. So our reality, our mind, and our emotions, it's pretty clear, but then there is something that happened, and a fourth player came in, that invisible downward spiral, that now it's not only reality that impacts us, now we're coming back to very reality, impacting it again with our thoughts and emotions. So we are not even aware of this, but this is our creation of reality from now on, if we keep on dragging it down with us. So maybe the real problem is not that we have our expectations left unmet, like we said, or bad experiences, but the real problem is, let's see, no. Okay, here there was supposed to be a spiral, so how deep do we fall? Do we just have this wave, tiny wave, but then we rise up, or do we keep on spiraling more and more until who knows when? And maybe, okay, what do we do with that? I mean, I guess we can't always control and have a reality on our side all the time, even though I'm a big believer of reality can stand in leading us to our biggest dreams. I'm a dream chaser, professional dream chaser since I was 20. Well, since I've decided I want to live in Italy, I just took off and lived in Italy when I was 23. Then I wanted to become a flight attendant to travel the world, so I did that. Even publish a small book in Israel, and even becoming a businesswoman that then I aspired to be. But we cannot always have those dreams. I mean, dreams we can have control. We cannot always have those moments in between going how we want. Well, unless you're Chuck Norris and then you tell reality what to do, right? It's not reality telling you. But let's say we are not Chuck Norris. Wouldn't we all agree it would be lovely then to find that safety within us, even in those moments, to rise back from the highs and the lows, to notice the downward spiral, to be the captain of our ship, the king and the queen of our castle, in the highs and the lows? So as I mentioned, in the unknown I found that roadmap, and what key that I was holding to. So at that point, I knew I'm not a resilient person. I knew I can, I told you, I'm a professional dream chaser, right? But when things didn't go my way, I would crash hard. So sitting there on the grass, I already knew that there is something that I'm not aware of. My mind is not telling me everything. How could it be that I can achieve all of my dreams, but when things don't go my way, I'm crashing so badly? And I have decided that now I'm not going to let reality dictate for me. And I'm not going to tell myself, oh, this journey is doomed. I'm going to see what's happening, and I realize that I'm asking questions and I'm curious. What is going to go on from here? What is it that my mind is not telling me? And from now on, I started casting doubt on the first thought that came on, because I knew, it's not always serving me. So we're going to explore this roadmap that came thanks to, not the avocado, avocado too, thanks to the curiosity. And we're going to explore, with curiosity, a 3-step system that's going to be easy to follow, that our mind actually would not resist, because the curiosity is going to be our secret ingredient in every step. And you will now see how it's going to be so powerful. So, yeah, what's the first part in that roadmap? Noticing. Why? Remember we talked about those the mind that is the first one to be in the game of reality after reality that we have no control over. The one we do have control over is our mind, but we don't notice what's happening there, right? If we would notice that we are dragged into that downward spiral, we would not let it drag us down. But you might say, no, sure, no problem. I'm sitting in traffic. I know I'm upset. I don't want to be here. But do you really notice? Or are you now dragged in that spiral and responding to the problem you're having, not really in a helpful way? So maybe if again we take just another closer look at what's happening in that mind of ours in those times, then we can have a key or a tool to respond to that. So the first bad news. First bad news is our bad thinking habits, right? Has anyone taught you how to think in school? Maybe your parents? They teach us beautiful things. I love mathematics and geography, but does it really help me in my life when things don't go my way? And let me tell you, my mentors, my mom and my dad, no one taught them. So my mom, growing up in Israel, wouldn't respond the best when things crashed, and she would panic, and I saw that. And my dad would crawl into himself. So not the best example, right? And even today, we are actually, it's a funny anecdote, I'm watching cartoons with my 2-year-old. You can all relate to Donald Duck, though this is now, none of the kids watch that today, but you can relate. And Donald Duck, this innocent character that you've all been watching, do you know what he does when the dog kicks him by mistake? scary looking image. No, I will kick it back and then maybe I will feel better. I will scream and shout. This is not how it should be. And this is what you've learned from innocent cartoons. And then some more bad news. That automatic reaction. I spoke about the amygdala, right? But what you also don't know is when the amygdala steps into the stage of your brain, which has only one place for only one player at the time. What happens? The smarter part of your brain, the one that you really want to be active in those times, that capable to solve those problems, that problem that you're facing, who's responsible for higher thinking, is stepping back, because on that stage of the brain, there is only place for one at a time. So amygdala takes over. Bad news. So what do we do? Good news. It's 1940. It became official. Our mind has this plasticity character into it. It's flexible. That means that even after we finish growing up, our mind changes. That means that multiple studies about this, that means that we can get our prefrontal cortex bigger and stronger, and we can shrink our amygdala to some extent. These studies talk about mindfulness, but actually the interesting thing that they also found challenges is our brain gym. Yeah, that's the time to actually start training your brain, to actually work on changing the parts of your brain. That means you can start to choose to send neurons, fire neurons into your prefrontal cortex, because you know that's the one you want. And soon enough, those neurons will keep on going where you wanted them to be. But you need to remember that when you're facing challenge. So how do we do that? I mean, you're already dragged down to that,